Churn in there.
Oh, I made pork chops with mustard and cream.
You can just churn in there.
That was no joke.
It's a metaphor.
A metaphor.
Ooh.
Women always get stuck with the laundry.
Ooh. 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 Ah! It's just too much.
I didn't realize that you were still so domestic.
That's what he means by it. That is what he's saying. Your life is trivial. You are so trivial.
Jesus.
My marriage is over, Mama.
I'm sorry.
I think my marriage is over, Mama.
Tell me what it is that you're trying to say. Look, during the last 5 years of our marriage, I was becoming more and more unhappy. He's let himself get so beaten up by his job. So we became more and more isolated from one another, more and more separate. He's a very hard worker, very caring, honest. Well, he just can't seem to make time for us anymore. He was very involved in his career. He's a very hard worker. And he hates it. But he spends every waking minute over there. Every time I talked to my ex-husband about it, he wouldn't listen. I don't know what it is that he's trying to prove.
He's delusional.
He's a very hard worker.
I'm really sick of the whole thing. Sick of the whole fight.
Let me tell you something. This is how this works.
You have to try to hear this. Love is not always enough. Not when you're talking about marriage and children and joint checking accounts. You sound like my mother. Relationships are work.
Okay? But I'm really sick of the whole thing. Sick of the whole fight. Everything has become unbelievably hard.
Relationships are work. One of the things I do know how to do really well is make things work.
This is gonna be a lot of work.
I can take a situation and just make it okay. I've always been able to do that.
A lot of work.
One of the things I do know how to do really well is make things work.
I trust that you can handle this pressure.
You can do anything, right? You can do anything, right?
Well, I don't think you're that powerful. You know, it wasn't always easy to be nice to him.
Wow, which one was he?
I remember him.
Why can't I remember anything?
I remember him.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
What did the two of you ever find to talk about? I remember once he said that I probably couldn't get a job that would pay enough to hire a babysitter. See, every time I would get started on something, Charles would be transferred.
What about your job and your...
Then I had my kids, and I took time out to raise them. And then
What about your job and your...
No.
my children, my kids.
Everything's different now. I have kids and...
And
What about your job and your...
by the time I wanted to start teaching again, nobody would hire me because all my life I've felt like somebody's wife or somebody's mother or somebody's daughter.
I've got no life at all.
I never knew who I was.
Sometimes I pity them. I have a freedom they cannot understand.
Why is your freedom more important than mine?
Don't get defensive. Don't try to bully me.
Well, I suppose we were fighting for freedom.
Why is your freedom more important than mine?
But I'm not saying, please, it wasn't a grand idea. It was in us.
We were fighting for a world which could be better.
My God, in the world that you would make, there would be no love at all.
Love is not always enough.
I have a freedom they cannot understand.
I got myself a therapist, a really good one.
You want to have it all.
And I feel better about myself than I ever have in my whole life. And I've learned a great deal about myself.
So, let me see. Who are you?
Who are you?
I am nothing.
Who?
All my life I've felt like somebody's wife or somebody's mother or somebody's daughter.
Who are you?
Never knew who I was.
I am nothing.
I've got no life at all.
Never knew who I was.
Don't tell me. Let me guess. I am hardly human anymore.
Honey, you are oversimplifying things a little bit. Never knew who I was.
Who are you?
Miss
Mrs.
Who are you? Please, call me
Mrs.
What are you doing here?
I think I found myself.
You are, you've come into your own.
Oh, and look at you. You will move mountains.
Look at you. Look what you've achieved.
I think I found myself.
Very happy now.
You will move mountains.
I heard you wrote a book, right?
It's great.
I heard you wrote a book, right?
See, I try to think only beautiful thoughts because then I think that the beauty will come out in my work. After all, that's what an artist does.
Oh, that's nice.
What's the story?
It's autobiographical.
My readers will identify.
Oh, that's nice.
What's the story?
It's a long story.
I did not invent that story.
It's autobiographical.
I happen to be very good at stories.
I know the book is tough, but I liked it.
You don't love it?
It's really good. It's such powerful stuff. It's autobiographical.
I know.
You don't love it?
Only one thing upset me.
What is that?
Well, that there wasn't more about you.
What? I just don't understand how you cannot want to look at the past.
That is my opinion. I guess I don't take criticism very well, but
Well, it's my opinion.
Is it correctable?
Other people don't think so.
Is it correctable?
Well, we know everyone in publishing. It shouldn't be a problem, should it?
I'm so relieved.
So, tell me how much you love my new novel and how much money we're going to make.
Transforming the work of this visionary artist into a global brand.
A product?
Yeah.
What exactly do you know about literature, art, or creativity?
You want to make it into a movie?
A product?
Oh, God.
Why?
You want to make it into a movie?
Into a global brand.
Oh, that's nice.
Ugh, you're so crude. So crude.
A global brand.
In case you don't know it, I'm an artist.
My stories are free.
Oh, my gosh.
My stories are free.
Oh, that's nice.
My life has changed, and I must reflect that in my writing.
Yeah, that's me. I don't want life to imitate art. I want life to be art. It's autobiographical.
You've already offered us that bit of wisdom.
Well, I don't ask you about that work because, you know what it's about. Because
I don't really care what anybody writes about me. Complete and utter flop.
A what?
Complete and utter flop.
Is that confirmed?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Just imagine what they're going to write about me.
Well, just do the best you can, okay?
Okay?
Do the best you can.
You gotta be good.
I can't possibly compete with you. What if somebody won?
You shouldn't quit something just because it's hard.
You want me to do well.
Just not better than you. Did I turn you into such a perfectionist?
It doesn't matter. Can you tell me, in your own words, exactly where you think we went wrong?
I was not a failure.
Complete and utter flop.
You ended up disappointing me more than, I was not a failure. More than any of the other silly girls.
I am nothing.
It did not succeed.
Well, what about your job and your...
This is the job.
You focus on the job. Your job.
That is going to be your life. Dragon lady. Career obsessed. Snow queen.
You work hard at your job, you try to keep the home together, but suddenly you realize
It's just too much. Would anybody like to talk about this now? I don't want you to say anything. I don't need you to say anything. I know he really loves your writing.
He said that.
Well, you know he lies.
No.